back to another episode of the Miracle Marketing Podcast, where we bring you interviews from business owners, celebrity guests, and hot topics. I am your host, Brandon Adams, along with my co-host, super producer, Big Perry. I'm Big Perry, and welcome back to the show, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be back.
How you been, man?
I've been pretty good, man. Just chilling, chilling, chilling.
Good, good, good.
How about
Today,
yourself?
special day,
Oh,
day after wifey's birthday. Make sure you shout wifey out on the show.
yeah. It's my wife's birthday, man. July 19th. So y'all keep that in your mark that on your calendar.
Cool, cool, cool. Happy birthday, wifey. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, send us an email to amiraclepodcast@gmail.com. On today's show, we have a very special guest. This man, I've been knowing him for a while now. He has two movies that will be releasing, I think it's this week. The 25th is this week. Yes. So without further ado, we're going to bring on to the show Mr. Jimmy Gary Jr. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Long time no see. Hadn't seen you in a while.
I know it's been a while.
Been
Been
a
a while.
minute when we used to be out in them New York streets.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
man. Yeah, man. Good, good. You got a lot of stuff going on. You got two movies that's going to be dropping in the same week. So tell us about, your two movies you got coming out. You got one with Pete Davidson, which is huge. So let's get right into it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm first of all, I'm grateful that both movies coming out on the same day, July 25th. That's awesome. And I got make my cameo in both of them. The Home is a horror film directed by James DeMonaco, who writer, director, producer of the Purge series. So I don't watch scary movies like that, but I'm looking forward to watching this one. Pete Davidson was wonderful. It was great working with him, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the 25th for The Home. I'm trying to figure out like how am I going to do it? They're both. I may have to go to one earlier in the day and go to the other one later that night.
There you go.
Back
You'll
to
figure
back.
it out. You got two dropping, so that's a beautiful thing.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Tell us about your other project.
The other project is called Oh Hi, starring Molly Gordon. Um, Wonderful, wonderful romantic comedy. It's gotten great reviews. And, I mean, it won some awards at some film festivals. I know it won some awards at Sundance. It's been screening all over the country. Yeah, people talking about it. I'm excited to see it. Also, romantic comedy. It's pretty funny.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pass it on to your other Florida boy because you guys are both Florida boys. So I'm
Yes,
gonna pass
sir.
it on
Florida
to
in the
Big
house.
Air
What part of
Yes,
Florida
sir.
you from?
Pensacola.
Pensacola. We used to
Yes,
play
sir.
against Pensacola Pine Forest
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I
football.
went to
Yeah,
I'm a,
man.
I'm a I'm a Wildcat. I went to Washington.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes,
I know
sir.
y'all had a rivalry going there, huh? Did
Yeah,
y'all play against?
Washington,
Yeah.
PHS, everybody. Yeah. Pine Forest, yeah, that's a good school.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good
Yeah.
school, yeah. Yes, sir. What part of Florida you from?
Okeechobee, country boy.
Okeechobee. Okay. Down south.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
I remember we played against Pine Forest, man. It seemed like they had 120 players on their team at the time. I'm like, dang, how many people gonna run out of this tunnel? Like, geez.
Yeah.
We had like 25 players on that whole team. They running out with like 100 and something. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, we keep some. I don't know what's in the water down there, boy, but we growing big.
I know that's right. Yep.
So in um your movies, the movies that you're playing that's coming out this week? Did you have to put your hands on anybody?
No, I didn't have to. I mean, working with Pete Davidson, he improvs a lot. And so I've had to improv too. So, it just depends on what take they use.
Okay. What was your character?
Um, I played a guy that was he's the sheriff deputy that I can't tell the movie because I want people
Okay,
to see it.
okay,
But yeah,
okay. But okay, now I know by looking through your discography and seeing some of your work, that's a common role that you played, a CEO and then the sheriff. Is that something you've
yeah, I've
always
been
wanted to do?
I was just an actor that want to work,
Okay.
and sometimes, in movies it's okay to play those characters because they're films, you
Yeah.
know. I've done a plethora of different other characters, but it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
seemed like, that go-to token detective,
Yeah.
warden, um, they called me, so I take
I,
it.
it's pretty cool though because people that know you from uh films and shows where you play a character um like that, it's like they relate like okay. I
Yeah.
remember him playing, in this show or whatever. So they put a
Mhm.
face with that image and stuff, and it works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It,
yeah, yeah.
that's
Well, I'm
beautiful.
branching off into other characters. I just filmed. I actually wrote, directed, and produced a movie, a romantic comedy called Exes in the Country that we
Okay,
shot down in Okeechobee. It's about a guy who lived. He came from New York to work a camp, an acting workshop camp, and he finds out that two of his teaching artists are his ex-girlfriends. And so a whole lot of drama pops off in the Airbnb. And
that's
it was fun. It was fun. We got some of the kids involved. Um, but it's funny. It's funny. Funny
that's
movie. They each character trying to find healing, but
yeah,
it's like working out with an 80-pound weight vest. You can't get it off you. It's there.
yeah,
The
yeah,
elephant is in the room. And
yeah.
so each character just had to sit in it and, just be in it. And it was wonderful. We had a lot of fun.
That's dope. That's dope. Is acting something that you've always wanted to do since school?
It was it was kind of I was bitten by the bug. My mom had a community play and
Okay.
I played the role of baby Jesus. And I was walking around touching people, healing people, and you know, doing all the stuff that Jesus did in the Bible. And the audience went crazy. And me, I was so young at the time. I had to be like six or seven, something like that.
Wow.
And for some reason, I thought these other actors I was working with was hurt for real, and I was healing them for real. So it was like my first time. It was my first time. You know, actually not just playing a character, but really being that character,
Yeah.
and that's the first time I was bitten by the bug, the acting bug. After I did all that on stage, everybody clapped, stood up, and everything. And I was like, that's it. That's all I have to do to get this applause.
Yeah.
And from that point, I kind of wanted to be like Jim Brown because I played football also.
Yeah.
And I know Jim Brown was into the acting realm, and so I was just trying to following his footsteps, and so after um, Seattle Seahawks, after my injury, I went back to West Virginia and got a degree in my BFA in acting,
Okay.
and I was doing musical theater and doing a lot of plays and all that, and came to New York, and the rest is history.
That's dope. I think what's cool is your beginning. You started out playing a savior, and even now, today, you're kind of known as a savior. You want to tell us a little bit about?
Oh man, yeah. Well, you know what's funny is like I'm always in these positions.
Hmm.
Seem like God always put me in the right place at the right time to help somebody. or to
Yeah.
save somebody. You know, this is not the first time something like this has happened to me.
Oh, wow.
Um, but what happened recently down in Orlando, we were at a resort, Evermore Resort, and we were out in the man-made beach, and there was a lot of people out there. And my family was like 20 of us, and we were all in the water playing and, you know, just messing around. And for some reason, I looked out of the corner of my eye and I saw a little kid, 5 years old, Graysyn, out in the deep end. And he was struggling. I didn't know if he was dog pedaling, trying to stay above water. Then all of a sudden, he just went under, and then his body floated back up to the top, and he was just floating. So I went at him. I just started going at him, and I saw his mom standing on the side, and she was like waving to me, and I didn't know if she was like, "Oh, he's okay" or whatever. I didn't take that chance. I had to see for myself. When I got to him, he was out cold, like he was out, man, and his stomach was really big, and I pushed his stomach because I knew he had swallowed a lot of water. I pushed his stomach, then a lot of water came out of his mouth, like a lot. And then uh, he started crying. So, you know, he didn't open his eyes, he just started crying. And then the crying just stopped and he just went limp again. It was crazy, man. And I'm carrying him out. I carried him out. And I laid him on the bench. Then lifeguards came over and they called 911. 911 came and they, you know, did what they do. And I was sitting there the whole time talking to Graysyn, telling him to squeeze my hand and all that just to get a response and everything. And his mom was so terrified. I mean, she was just like in shock. So I just told her, held her hand, was like, look, he's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. You got to put that out there that he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. So they worked on him for a little bit, and he ended up being, you know, being fine. But, you know, he was out, man. I mean, you can tell, you know, he was out. Um, that happened recently. But I was put in a position like that some years ago. My stepfather, at my stepfather's funeral,
Mhm.
the pastor was preaching, you know, and he had preaching my stepfather's funeral, and he had a tape of a CD of my stepfather preaching. So he was walking down in the audience, you know, seeing which kid he wanted to give it to, which kid. So he passed by my siblings, then he went to my sister who was sitting beside me, and he gave it to her. And he turned around to go back up to the pulpit. And I'm saying, man, this dude just fell. He had to be about 75 at the time. He just fell out, hit his head, massive heart attack.
Wow.
And so I just jumped up. People started screaming and yelling and everything. I just jumped up and immediately just went to CPR.
Wow.
And I saw his pupils dilate and getting really small, because his eyes was open, really small. And every time I would do a compression, his eyes, the pupils would get big. And as soon as I stopped and give him breaths, and then I stop, you know, they'll get small. So they was getting bigger and smaller. So for me, it was like he was leaving us and coming back, leaving us and coming back. And I did CPR. My cousin came in and he helped assist. And my sister's, you know, she's a nurse, and my sister and her brother, they are medical professionals.
Mhm.
But they were in shock because they said they never experienced anything like that in
Yeah.
the public. You know, it's one thing when you're at a hospital and you
Yeah.
have to do it, but when it happens like spontaneous and something happens, some people don't know what to do. And I don't know, I don't know, man. The Holy Spirit takes over sometime and just lead me right to him, man. His family, once the paramedics got there, They put him in the stretcher. They talked to me and asked me what I did and everything. And they were like, if it wasn't for you, he would have died. And his family called me like 2 days later, and they was like, oh, he's still in the hospital, but he's alive. He's doing well. And this guy lived, I think, he probably still alive now. I was in touch with the family for a little bit, and my sisters were. But, you know, uh, last time I spoke with my sister about him, it was like 8 or 9 years later after it happened, and he was still with us. And so that's good.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, man, I don't know, man. God just sometimes put me in positions um, to help somebody.
Yeah.
And I think because I don't have fear when it comes to helping someone, you
Mhm.
know, in this technology age now, people rather sit there and record what's happening than to help,
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So I'm grateful that I was at the right place at the right time and knew exactly what to do at that
Yeah.
moment with the minister and with Graysyn. I mean, 5-year-old kid, man. He's the cutest little kid. I was just thinking like, wow, I was out there with my daughter. My daughter is 11 years old.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even imagine like my daughter being 5 and going through that. And
Yeah.
so, man, sometimes you just jump in and instincts takes over and you just do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. You're a natural born hero. That's something God
Well,
put in you.
yeah, I give it back to God. I give him the glory because for him to put me in that position like that, he must see something, you
Mhm.
know. I was chosen for those moments. And I'm just happy that I was able to save a couple lives in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And I got some more life to go. So, I'm not running around here looking for people trying to save them, but you know, if God put me in that position again, brother, I just pray that I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah, willing vessel. B.
Yeah, man. Shoot, there's several roles that it sounds like you could play. You can play
Yeah.
a doctor, you could
Yeah,
play a minister. But
man.
one of the questions we always ask our guests, if you could play any role that you would want to play, what would it be?
Okay, well, uh, you know, if it's a character based on a real life character, a real life person, basically,
It could be
I
anything.
would I would love to play the role of Jack Johnson, the on film, the first black heavyweight boxing champion,
Okay. I
Okay,
can see
okay.
that.
Jack Johnson. And my second choice is John Henry. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of John Henry, the still driving king, down in West Virginia in the coal mines. He
Mhm.
was um, basically he was a real big spokesperson because he beat a machine. They created a machine to plow through the mountains, and if that machine was successful, it would have put a lot of people out of work.
Mhm.
So John Henry challenged the machine
Mhm.
and said, okay, we're going to go through this mountain, you and your machine and me and my sledgehammer. And
Mhm.
he beat the machine, but he it died of exhaustion after he beat the machine. But it saved a lot of people jobs. The machine just blew up, man. It blew up. But that's an old folk tale story that carries a lot of weight. I just saw a post about him recently on Facebook.
Mhm.
Had like 80,000, you know, likes, and so it's a very popular story down in that area.
Yeah.
Okay. I got two other questions for you. If you can act with any male actor and any female actor, who would it be?
A male actor, I would say LL Cool J.
Okay, why LL?
Because I grew up, man, liking his music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I respect his transition.
Mm-hmm.
I met LL once. He was the coolest dude. You know what I'm saying? We have a similar vibe, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he's a great actor. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's a wonderful actor. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, there's a few I can name. You know, Jamie Foxx. You know, I would love to. He played my uncle actually in The Burial.
Okay.
Okay.
That movie was based on my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
Willie Garrett.
Okay.
With Jamie Foxx, you know, action movie type stuff. I would love to do an action movie with The Rock, or you know, I would love if I comedy wise though, like I would love to do something with Chris Tucker, man.
Okay. Okay. All right. Female.
Female, I would say because I love her work,
Mm-hmm.
and these are people that I feel like, you know, I can actually get to. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Like, uh, I would love to work with Angela Bassett.
I knew
Okay.
you was gonna say that.
I had a feeling too it was going to be Angela Bassett. Yeah.
Angela Bassett. I
Okay.
would love to work with Angela Bassett. You
Okay.
know, her husband came to see one of my shows. It
Mm-hmm.
was a play about Moby Dick,
Mm-hmm.
and he came to the show, and he came specifically to see me because the director Tom Hanks produced it,
Mm-hmm.
and the director was bragging on my performance so much. So you know, Courtney came out to see it, and he loved it, man. It was awesome. It was a great moment.
That's great.
Yeah,
Great.
You could play Jim Brown.
I played Jim Brown too. Yeah,
You sure
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Play
Hmm.
football and act, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be a role that you could definitely play.
Have they done a biopic of Jim Brown yet?
I
I
don't
don't
Or
think
think
anything?
so.
so. But we
You should
hearing
write it.
we hearing it here first.
Yeah. You know who else I would love to play?
Go ahead.
Charlie Pride. Charlie
Charlie
Pride,
Brown, the country singer.
the country singer.
Yeah,
The-
yeah,
Charlie Pride.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a man. He's a legend, and I don't think he
yeah.
gets enough credit.
It
You know,
does.
he's the first African American to really break into the country music and blow up like he did. You know,
Yeah.
a while back, a guy wrote a script. I think I still have it in my email, but he wrote a script about Charlie Pride. He was commissioned to write it, and you know, I was privileged to see the script,
Hmm.
but I guess it fell through.
Yeah.
You know, I got my guitar, man. I'm ready. You know.
You
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
too?
Well, you know, I'm an actor, man, and I'm a actor that really puts everything into the character. So, you know, I did Soldiers Play with the Negro Ensemble Company, and I played here in New York a few years back, and I played CJ Memphis and got great reviews, and I played live and
Mm.
sing those songs live. It wasn't no recorded and the guy fake playing the guitar. I was playing and singing, and I taught myself those songs in about 2 weeks,
Oh wow.
and taught
Wow.
myself how to play with those songs in 2 weeks. Yeah.
All right, Perry on, there you go. You and Jimmy got to get some stuff together. You the music guy.
Man, what
So
he
y'all, you
said,
do
to whom
music?
much is given.
You don't see that gold record in the back?
What? What music record is that from? Tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, that's for Juvenile reality check album. I did a single on that called "The Way I Be Leaning."
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, yeah.
You produce too, or rap?
I produce, write, I do a little singing and rapping.
You
Yeah, I
do a
do. I
little,
do
Really?
everything.
you
Yeah,
do a
I
little bit of
used to.
everything, bro.
Yeah, when I stayed in Florida, I used to be um, in-house producer and a artist for Roy Jones Jr.'s Bodyhead Entertainment.
Oh,
the
okay.
boxer. Yeah.
You got some tracks you can send me for my artists? Because I also manage an artist.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Yeah. Her name is LaShawn. She was on American Idol season
Okay.
23. She had a hit song called Woman that she
Okay.
did and got the golden ticket, went out to LA and made it, she made it pretty far. But yeah, man. So I got my hands like in some things.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir. I sure will send you some records.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Get some stuff popping up in here. And she's from Miami too. So I mean, she's from
Okay.
Miami, so she's from Florida, but she's
Okay.
R&B, soul uh, singer, and just amazing. Her music is amazing.
Yeah, I love Miami. I did some work for Trick Daddy and did some work down there at Circle House Studios down there through
Oh,
Atlanta. Yeah,
that's
so
what's up, man. Look at you, talented dude,
thank you, thank you,
talented,
man.
multi-talented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
That's an understatement. When I first met him, and he blew me away with all the stuff he can do. We've been riding ever since.
I know that's right. Well, God gives you more than one talent. You got to
Yeah,
use them
man.
all.
I'll learn.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
So, Jimmy, any films or projects that you want to plug that you're doing yourself or that you will be coming out with yourself, and if it's going to be on any like streaming platforms or anything, or some things, even if it's not done yet, that you want to work on?
Well, I just shot the romantic comedy film
Mhm.
that I'm in the process of editing that whole process. That's where the movie is really made in the editing room. And I have some scripts. I have a number of scripts. I have a script called Blonde Bombshell that I co-wrote with a young lady out of Detroit, and it's an amazing, amazing piece, man. It's about a kid who's blessed with Hollywood royalty. Mother was a huge actress, so he was kind of, you know, given the silver spoon when it comes to acting. So he's now this big actor. His mother passed away, but he's a real asshole, like the biggest asshole you can think of. And uh, he gets into it with his brother, and he gets into a fight with his brother, and his brother pushes him in the pool, and he hits his head and goes blind.
Oh, wow.
And so now we got to try to. I play his manager. We have to try to. I play his agent. Howard's the agent. We have to try and help him get his sight back before the public finds out.
Mhm.
So we put him. We sent him to this indoor facility for people who living with disabilities. And so you enter a whole new world of people living with disabilities, you know, and you get to see that, wow, they just like regular people. They even
Yeah.
crazier than regular, like they be getting their stuff in. So it just shows like the inside of, these facilities, and you see how the same we are.
Yeah.
Like we're similar. Disabilities is a big thing. I have a big place in my heart for people living with disabilities, because people tend to look at them a certain way or think they're different. But at the end of the day, they're just like everybody else. They just have a disability.
Yeah.
So the character goes in and he falls in love with the albino woman who was there because she escaped Africa, because in Africa they chop albinos up because they believe their bones are magic or something like that. And
Mhm.
that's true. That's really
Wow.
happening now. It's happening as we speak, you
Wow.
know, and they're killing a lot of albino um, kids and
Wow.
people. And so, so the movie is, I mean, it's one of those movies where it's funny, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna get angry, you're gonna get all that stuff in it, but it has a message in it. The main character has the transition from being this asshole to everybody to where he's put in a position to where he can't even see his beautiful face anymore. And so he goes through that whole transition. And that movie right there, we're still trying to get the script is finished. We're still in the development stage, just trying to put together a team to, to help us get this thing out there and get it going. That's one script that I have I'm passionate about. I'm also passionate about another film that I called Hunts. It takes place in the Bronx. It's called Haven. And basically it's like Fast and Furious, but on feet.
Okay.
Fast and Furious on feet. So they're not racing cars. They're meeting in Hunts Point down dark alleys, and they're running 100 meters on sprinting the 100 meters. And it's a one of those types of films where it's like it really gets in the hood, like it's really there. The mob is involved because the purse, you can win 20 grand, you can win 30 grand. They bet like that, but it's racing on feet. And I think it's perfect timing for that because you see that on all over social media now. This guy they call Speed, he's racing everybody for money, and everybody racing it. And it's something similar to that, but it's just a little more gritty, because I plan on, the series of films, part one and a part two, Haven 2, Haven 3, coming out, because as these kids grow up out of the projects racing, as they get older and they get more into it, you see their financial status rise also.
Yeah.
Jimmy, not to cut you
So
off, but we're running short of time. We only got a minute left, so I want you to plug your social media before we get out of here.
All right, cool, man. Social media, Instagram is Jimmy Gary Jr. Facebook is Jimmy Gary Jr. TikTok, Jimmy Gary Jr. All across the board, Jimmy Gary Jr. That's my plug.
Jimmy, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today. Make sure you guys go out and support his films that are dropping this week on the 25th. We appreciate your time on the show. Big Perion, thank you for being on the show. And
Thank you,
I
bro.
wanted to thank everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we out of here before we get cut off.
All right. I need your info, Perion, so we can connect.
Yes,
I'll send it
sir.
to you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Blessings,
All right,
bro.
cool. All right. Good talking to you.
All right.
You too.
Peace.